We are very glad to see you all here this evening. We have a nice program with songs and poems and with a very interesting presentation from Ruse, you will see.
I will present first the program. We will have a wonderful program with contributions from Romania, Serbia, Bulgaria, Austria, and Ukraine. And all of you are invited to enter the wonderful world of museum and theater, accompanied by music and poetry. First, we will have a Romanian poem, then the interview and presentation from Ruse from Bulgaria. We will discuss in groups about museums. Then a beautiful poem recited from Austria, a theatrical monologue from Romania, a beautiful Ukrainian song, and then a Serbian poem. But first, let's start with the Romanian poem. Is Crayon in English pencil. Is written by Tudor Arghezi, a Romanian poet and novelist who lived between 1880 till 1967. And Emma Partenie, she will recite this beautiful poem. Emma is a student at the National College of Banat, Colegiul Național Bănățean, clasa dirigintei Carmen Firu. Și îți dau cuvântul ție. I give the floor to you, Emma.
Thank you very much.
But first, tell me, why did you choose this poem?
Well, I was not sure initially which one I should choose. Initially, I wanted to go for something related to nature, but then I saw this one, and when I read the first few lines, I thought to myself, I can imagine a scenario. I can imagine myself thinking similarly. I can imagine myself also trying to see the similarities between a person I love and the nature around us. And also because since the theme for what I had to choose was nature and love, I thought that this, which has both elements, would be the best way to show them.
Thank you, Emma.
Creionul de Tudor Arghezi. Obrajii tăi mi dragi, cu ochilor ca lacul, în care se oglindesc azurul și copacul. Sursul tău mi drag, căci e ca piatră în fund, spre care noată albi, pești lungi cu ochi rotunzi. Și capul tău mi-e drag, căci e ca malul stuf, unde păianjeni dorm, pe zori făcute puf. Făptura ta întreagă, de chin și bucurie, nu trebuie să-mi fie. De ce să-mi fie dragă?
Bravo, bravo. Very nice, very nice. We thank you, Emma. A very nice poem. And as I told you, the theme was love and nature, and you chose a very nice poem. Thank you. After that beautiful poem, we will go to know something very interesting about a person and about a special place. The person is Iskra Todorova. A very warm welcome, Iskra. And
Здравейте отново.
I'm very pleased that you are here with us today. And together with Biljana, who will translate.
За мен е чест да бъда и аз сред вас.
It is an honor to be here with you today, too.
Thank you. We will find some beautiful, interesting things. Let's start. So, some details about you. Who is Iskra Todorova? Iskra? Who are you?
Искра Тодорова всъщност е една обикновена жена. Родена съм в Видин. Това е не голям, но красив дунавски град с древно минало. Завърших висшето си образование в Велико Търново. Това е средновековната столица на България. Също уникален град с неповторима атмосфера. Там срещнах съпруга си, имаме 2 дъщери и 2 внука. Живеехме в Попово. Това е малко градче в северна България, но през 2006 година се преселихме в Русе, където имах невероятният късмет да започна работа в регионални исторически музеи. Опитвам се да бъда добър човек, обичам хората, обичам работата си и вярвам, че любовта и добротата могат да спасят нашия свят.
Um, Iskra Todorova is just an ordinary person, just an ordinary woman. I was born in Vidin, not a big city, but a beautiful town situated on the Danube River with ancient history. I graduated university in Turnovo, the medieval capital of Bulgaria, also a marvelous city with a unique atmosphere. There I met my husband. We have 2 daughters and 2 grandsons. We lived in Popovo, a small town in North Bulgaria. During 2006, we transferred to Ruse, where I was incredibly lucky to start working at the Regional History Museum. I try to be a good person. I love humanity. I love my work, and I believe that love and kindness can save the world.
Super, interesting, very good. And
Thank
why
you.
did you choose this profession? When did you do it that? And why did you choose to work in a museum?
След като се дипломирах, работех няколко години като преподавател по български език и литература. Когато се преместихме в Русе, трябваше да търся работа. Разбрах, че в музея има свободно място за етнограф. Като студентка съм се занимавала с фолклористика и етнография. Продължих и след това да работя с ученици по тези теми в извънкласни форми. Ходех и на теренни експедиции като доброволец. С моята специалност, българска филология, бих могла да работя само като етнограф в музея. Кандидатствах, одобриха ме и така от 2007 година работя като куратор в етнографския отдел на музея в Русе. Имам невероятния късмет да работя това, което обичам. Може да се каже, че хобито ми съвпада с работата. Още от дете обичах да слушам историите, които възрастните разказваха. Харесвах да чета за миналото, за традициите и като студентка се записах в кръжока по фолклористика при един невероятен човек и преподавател, професор Анчо Калоянов. Може да се каже, че срещата с него обърна светогледа ми и определи посоката на живота ми, за което съм благодарна и на съдбата и на него. А натрупаните през годините знания за традициите успяха да намерят поле за изява в музея. Тук имам възможност да интерпретирам темите за културното наследство и като куратор на изложби, но и като учен.
After graduating, I worked for several years as a teacher of Bulgarian language and literature. When we moved to Ruse, I had to look for a new job. I found out that there is a vacancy in the museum. As a student, I was engaged in folklore studies and ethnography. Then I continued to work with students on these topics in extracurricular forms and went to field research expeditions as a volunteer. With my major specialization, I could work only as an ethnographer in the museum. I applied and was approved. So since 2007, I have been working as a curator in the ethnographic department of the museum in Ruse. I'm extremely lucky to work what I love, and you could say that my hobby overlaps with my work. Ever since I was a child, I loved the stories that adults used to tell. I liked to read about the past, about the traditions, and as a student, I enrolled in the folklore seminar, which was directed by one of the most incredible professors, Professor Ancho Kalianov. It can be said that meeting him changed my point of view on the world and set the course of my life, for which I am deeply grateful to fate and to him. The knowledge about traditions accumulated over the years found its way of expression in the museum. Here I have the opportunity to interpret the terms from the field of cultural heritage, both as an exhibition curator and as a scientist.
Thank you. And Iskra, you are a curator since 2007. What makes this job so special? What being a curator means to you?
Работата на кураторите в музея е изключително отговорна. След директора на институцията, по важност на делата се нарежда кураторът. Той участва на всички нива на процесите в музея. От създаването на колекциите, през тяхното опазване, научно интерпретиране и представяне в експозиция. Много е важно специалистът да е адекватен към съответната културно-историческа ситуация, защото посланията, които отправяме чрез нашата работа, въздействат на публиките ни, задават въпроси за размисъл, възпитават, провокират определено отношение към проблемите на обществото и към културното ни наследство. В България ситуацията с издръжката на културата е такава, че заедно с основните задължения на куратор ни се налага да бъдем и екскурзоводи, и фондохранители, и теренисти, и архиватори, често и аниматори на определени събития и не само. Но аз обичам да работя с хора и единственият проблем в цялата ситуация е липсата на достатъчно време за реализиране на всичките ни идеи.
Museum curators have many responsibilities in their work. According to the importance of work, after the director of the institution, the curator is next in rank. Curators are involved in every aspect of museum affairs, from creating museum collections through their preservation, scientific interpretations, to their presentation in exhibitions. It is of great importance for the museum specialists to be adequate to their respective culture, their respective cultural and historical context, because the messages we send through our work affect our audiences. They open questions for self-reflection, educate, provoke a certain attitude towards the problems of society and to our cultural heritage. The situation of funding the cultural institutions in Bulgaria is such so we are, as curators, are placed in a position where, along with our main duties, we have to also be guides. We take the responsibilities of guardians of our museum collections. We are field workers. We take care of archives. We are also animators at certain events at the museum and so on. Yet I love working with people, and the only problem in this situation is the lack of enough time to realizing all of my ideas.
You are very special, very nice, Iskra. Now, please tell us the reasons we should visit the Regional Museum of History in Russe.
As I said to Iskra, I had been there and it's really very interesting and has many different aspects to discover.
И музея в Русе и неговите всички обекти е само част от това, което можете да видите в града, в региона, като културни и природни обекти. А регионалният исторически музей в Русе, дори малко нескромно да звучи, е един от най-добре работещите музеи в България. Имаме много обекти, които представят културното ни природно наследство. Историческият музей показва археология, религиозна и военна история, много временни изложби. Една от тях беше посветена на Салватор Дали дори. Екомузеят е изключително интересен обект, пъстър с многото си диорами и активности за малки и големи. Къщата на Калиопа, където аз работя, всъщност музей за градска култура, има неповторима атмосфера и ни връща в романтизма на 19 век. В музей къща Баба Тонка, музей къща Захари Стоянов, пантеон на възрожденците е представена героичната история на българите през Възраждането. Интерес представляват също така Ивановските скални църкви, обект на ЮНЕСКО, както и останките на средновековната крепост Червен, която се намира на около 30 км от Русе. Мисля, че всички те представят добре духа на региона и в частност на град Русе, наричан в миналото Малката Виена.
Firstly, Russe is a beautiful city. The Regional Museum of History in Russe is just a part of what you could see in the city and the region of cultural and environmental importance. The Regional Museum of Russe is, even if it sounds immodest, one of the best working museums in Bulgaria. There are several places in Russe which represent the cultural and environmental heritage under the care of our museum. The historical museum displays archaeology, religious and military history, and many temporary exhibitions. One of our latest was dedicated to Salvador Dali, with his original works never displayed before. The Eco Museum is an extremely interesting place, colorful with its many interactive dioramas and various activities for the young and the elderly generations. The House of Calliope, where I work, actually the Museum of Urban Culture, has a remarkable atmosphere and sends our visitors back in the epoch of Romanticism in Bulgaria during the 19th century. At the House of Baba Tonka, the House of Zahari Stoyanov, and the Pantheon of Bulgarian revolutionaries is presented the heroic history of Bulgarians during the Bulgarian Renaissance period. The Ivanovo rock churches are of great importance and interest. They are under the protection of UNESCO, along with their neighboring medieval fortress of Cherven. Both are situated near Ruse. I believe all these places represent the spirit of Ruse, called in the past the Small Vienna. And if I can add, anyone can find something interesting for their taste in Ruse and the region.
Of course, we can do. So Iskra is working at the House of Calliope. And Carmen, you wanted to say about your visit in there, Carmen?
Yes, I had been there and I
Точно така.
discovered a lot of very interesting things, and it was well presented, and I liked it a lot. And so it's really worth to go.
Yes, and also the story behind that museum is very interesting. And
Благодаря.
yes, and I can say also behind all these interesting things, I served there the best rose sorbet ever.
Really?
Yes. Okay. And a last question for you, Iskra. What do you think is the most interesting object in House of Calliope?
Честно, нямам еднозначен отговор. За различните хора интерес представляват различни неща. Едни харесват шармантните дрехи от колекцията ни с градски облекла от края на 19-ти, началото на 20 век. Други харесват луксозните вещи от колекциите ни порцелан, сребро, стъкло. Трети харесват традиционните накити и така нататък. За мен най-интересни са историите, които всеки предмет разказва. Вазата на Галее, например, разказва за богатите русенци, които пътували на Запад и си носили скъпи вещи от Европа, с които показват стил, престиж. Но и захабената лупа на фотографа Стефан Балаш, съвсем невзрачна като вещ, разказва за една от модните тенденции в Русе в началото на 20 век. Във всеки дом на стената е имал портрет, направен от него и оформен с техниката сос ретуш. Мисля, че всеки ще намери нещо в нашите експозиции, ще намери своя най-интересен експонат и ще отнесе със себе си приятно изживяване.
Honestly, I don't have a clear answer. Different people are interested in different things. Some like the charming clothes from our collection of urban wear from the end of 19th, early 20th century. Others like the luxurious items from our porcelain, silver, glass collections. There are people who like traditional ornaments and so on. To me, the most interesting are the stories which every single exhibit tells. The vase of Émile Gallet, for example, tells the story about rich class of Ruse, who traveled to the rich class of Ruse, who traveled to Western Europe and brought back expensive items, which represented their style and prestige. But the worn-out magnifying glass of the photographer Stefan Balash, quite an inconspicuous item, tells the story of one of the most fashionable tendencies in Ruse in the early years of 20th century. At every household, there was a portrait on the wall made by him and shaped with the technique of sauce retouche. I believe everyone could find in our exhibitions their own most interesting object and take home the memory of a nice and pleasant experience.
Of course, I have very nice memories there, and also Carmen. I'm looking.
I think you are right. Really,
за което.
there are different approaches to go there and to have different impressions about history and art and so on. And personally, I like to have this, how to say, different perspectives to discover a country or a region.
And also, I'm looking forward to hear the story of Calliope and Midhat Pasha, and also to see some items from the museum. If you can show us the presentation.
Да, разбира се.
So this is the house of Calliope.
Точно така. Така изглежда къщата на Калиопа отвън. Това е една сграда, която е построена по време на турското владичество, около средата на 19 век.
This is a building built in the middle of the 19th century.
Трябва да разкажа всъщност защо показваме две имена за тази къща. Едното е официалното, което може би вече всички разбраха, че е музей на градската култура.
We need to explain why there are two names for this building. One, the House of Calliope, and the other, the Ethnographic Museum.
Музей на градския вид, където също се помещава етнографския отдел. Популярното име, къщата на Калиопа, е свързан с една легенда, според която, когато идва на власт като губернатор на една огромна част от Османската империя, Мидхат Паша се влюбил в една дама, на която казвали Калиопа. Това е прозвище, може би, защото се е смятали за много красива.
The first name, the House of Calliope, is connected to an urban legend, which says that when Midhat Pasha, the ruler of the Danube region, when he came to rule in Russe, Russe was considered the capital of the Danube region. He fell in love with the most beautiful ladies of the high society in Russe called Calliope.
Той много искал да й подари нещо, за да я впечатли, но понеже е много влиятелен и богат, искал да е нещо, което е по-впечатляващо, по-голямо, затова решил да построи къща, която да й подари.
He wanted to give her a present, but for a person with his power, giving her something simple as a jewel or as a dress wouldn't be that impressive, so he decided to build her a house.
Когато къщата била построена, се оказало, че въпросната дама вече е омъжена за друг човек, но той все пак бил нарекал къщата на нея и много искал тя да я получи. Все пак и тогава не е уместно да подариш такъв голям подарък на чужда съпруга. Затова той измислил елегантен начин да подари къщата без това да предизвика обществен скандал.
When the house was finished, Calliope was already married. So at this point, Midhat Pasha couldn't give her the house so openly because it wouldn't be appropriate to give such a big present to someone else's wife. He yet wanted her to have the house, and he thought of an elegant way for her to have the house without having a big scandal in the society at the time.
Той организирал състезание за красивите дами от града. Те трябвало да стрелят по гълъбчета. Победителката в това състезание, като награда, трябва да получи къщата. Все пак той е искал Калиопа да спечели, затова подредил нещата така, че това да се случи. Всички други дами стреляли с фалшиви патрони, само Калиопа с истински. И за да се подсигури двойно, той заповядал на най-добрия стрелец-войник от гарнизона в Русе да стреля заедно с нея от едно скришно ъгълче. Всички вече са се досетили кой е спечелил къщата, разбира се, Калиопа. И във връзка с тази красива любовна приказка, русенци до сега наричат къщата на Калиопа.
He organized a shooting contest for the ladies from the high society of Russe. He ordered the things so that Calliope would take the house. All the contestants were armed with fake bullets, with blanks. Only Calliope had the gun with real bullets. And just to be sure, he ordered a soldier to help her from a hidden corner. So at this point, I believe everyone already knows who won the contest. And this is why we in Russe call the house of Calliope.
Това, което със сигурност знаем за къщата, е, че до освобождението тя е принадлежала на семейството на пруския консул. Всъщност в Русе тогава има 11 консулства и практиката е такава, че семействата на консулите ползват фамилна къща, в която има кабинет, в който те си вършат работата. Такъв е случай с нашата къща. След освобождението, съпругата на пруския консул продава къщата на първия българин собственик, Стефан Камбуров, който всъщност я ползва като фамилна къща, той и неговите наследници до 1971 година.
Of course, this is just an urban legend. What we know for sure about the house is that at first it was used as a Prussian embassy. At the time in Russia, there were situated at least 11 embassies, and the house functioned as a house and also as there was a meeting room where the ambassador worked. After the end of Ottoman rule, the house was sold from the wife of the Prussian ambassador to the first Bulgarian owner, the merchant Stefan Kamburov.
След 1971 година Стефан Камбуров, който е внук на първия Стефан Камбуров, продава къщата на общината. Тя функционира като представителен дом около 10 години, след което е отстъпена на музея и тогава в България се организира първият музей, който показва градска култура. Първият етнографски музей, който показва градска култура.
In 1971, the descendants of Stefan Kamburov sold the house to the municipality of Russe, and after that was organized the first ethnographic museum in Bulgaria, which shows urban culture. At this point, there are only museums for traditional culture, but urban culture wasn't very well expressed in museums at the time.
Така е, защото всъщност градската култура по условие е буржуазна, а за социалистическата идеология не беше уместно градската култура да бъде проучвана и показвана, защото това е културата на богатите и всъщност тя беше много години игнорирана. В този смисъл за нас е парадокс, че 2 години преди падане на системата в Русе се появява този музей, който всъщност става и нещо като образец, като еталон на всички други музеи в България, които след идването на демокрацията започват да изучават тази култура и да я показват.
Our museum is a paradox for the socialism culture at the time it was organized because urban culture by definition at the time is the culture of the rich, of the bourgeoisie. So it wasn't appropriate for the ideology at this time to show such culture. Yet Russe is, as we said, a unique city in Bulgaria, and our museum is still one of the most beautiful museums of urban culture in Bulgaria.
Откакто къщата функционира като музей, ние разполагаме нашите експозиции на 2 етажа. Нарочно избрах този слайд с темата за Ерос и Психея, тъй като той се свързва с темата за любовта, която така или иначе гравитира около музея. Това е стенопис, който е направен от Карл де Шауесберг. Това е художник, когото всъщност Стефан Камбуров кани от Букурещ. Той е бил много богат търговец и имал кантори в големите градове в Европа, включително и в Букурещ, познавала обществото там и кани този художник, за да направи красивите стенописи на 2-ия етаж в къщата на Калиопа.
Our exhibitions are situated on 2 floors. On the first floor we have temporary exhibitions, and on the second floor we have the exhibition for interior of urban style house from the beginning of the 20th century. I chose this picture here because it is an original artwork from the painter who painted the second floor. It shows Eros and Psyche, and this is the only place in the house where we have his signature, and also from where we know when the frescoes were finished.
Следващия слайд.
Next slide, please. Yes.
И така влизаме в нашата къща. Това е част от фоайето. За да покажем атмосферата на града, сме сложили една стара снимка, която е от началото на 20 век, как е изглеждал центъра с една от така най-красивите сгради в България, която и досега съществува, където се помещава в момента театърът на град Русе.
And now we begin our tour in our museum. This is the first floor, the foyer, where we have an old picture of the center of Russe with the most iconic building of the city, and also the Statue of Liberty of Russe. And in this building today is situated the city theater.
Следващия слайд.
Next slide, please.
Ние винаги се грижим за нашите посетители да има някаква интеракция. Затова сме поставили тези макети, за да може всеки да си направи снимка с облекла, които са били характерни за периода, който всъщност ние най-често представяме в нашия музей. Това е края на 19 и началото на 20 век.
We always aspire for our museum to be interactive. What you see on the picture are installations where our visitors can take pictures, and here are represented two examples of the standard for clothes in the early 20th century, which is the most represented period in our exhibitions.
Следващия слайд.
Next slide, please.
Всъщност отиваме първо на втория етаж, тъй като там ни е постоянната експозиция, която представя богата русенска къща от края на 19 началото на 20 век с оригинални мебели, които са донесени от Виена. Виждате и красивите стенописи по стените.
We will actually begin from the second floor, where is our constant exhibition, which doesn't change at any circumstances. Here we show the interior of a rich house of Russe. You see on the pictures the guest room furnished with original furniture brought in Russe from Vienna, from different rich families. Yes?
I want to say that all this presentation will be put on the website of the project, and we can Iskra can tell us at the next slides more.
Моля за извинение, съвсем за секунда ще изляза.
Just a moment. She needs to go outside. Just a few seconds.
Okay, the next slide, Marina, you can show us.
Извинявам се, бях заключила съпруга си навън.
I'm sorry, I had locked my husband outside.
Okay, so now we see the ceiling decoration. Yes.
Да, всъщност това е част от чара, който къщата има заради красивите стенописи. На всеки таван, във всяка от стаите, които показваме, са различни мотивите и създават особена атмосфера.
Yes, this is part of the charm of the house. The ceilings in every room are decorated in a different way, and sometimes our visitors even miss that and have to return to every room to see them. Извинявай.
Няма проблем. Всъщност ние показваме 4 помещения, които са представителни помещения за русенската къща. Това са официална гостна, спалня, всекидневна и музикален салон. Тоест, нашите посетители не могат да видят в обикновените помещения, като кухня, трапезария, помещения за слугите, тъй като в периода, в който ние показваме, това са били помещения, които са извън къщата като пристройки. За огромно наше съжаление обаче, когато общината купува къщата от Камбурови, разрушава тези помещения и сега ние показваме само така по-представителните части.
We show only 4 rooms, living room, bedroom, guest room and musical salon. Our visitors sadly cannot see more ordinary rooms like laundry room, kitchen, stables, because most of them were in buildings outside of the house, situated in the courtyard, and with time they were demolished and destroyed.
Okay, thank you, Iskra. If you want to choose one more slide from your presentation, what slide would be?
Yes.
One more slide. Which one you would say it's very interesting from now on, Виляна?
Разбира се. Това може би е изложбата, която в момента показваме с стъклото, истории и колекции, понеже тя е актуална към момента във временните ни изложби, които показваме на първия етаж.
This would be the slide with our glass collection.
Art collection.
The luxurious glass, yes.
Yes.
Next slide.
Next.
Yes, this is the musical salon. Next.
Това са части от нашите колекции и истории. Това е всъщност първа зала. Да, всъщност тази изложба е посветена, понеже беше открита 22 година, а 22 година беше обявена като година на стъклото от ООН. Нашия музей навършваше 35 години и в чест на тези 2 годишнини направихме тази изложба, за да покажем нашите колекции, но и да разкажем за това как стъклото се вписва в живота на човека и как го променя.
If you could change the previous slide, please. This exhibition you see on the screen shows different pieces of glass, and with this exhibition we participated in the National Year of Glass 2022. So we kept it 1 year longer. We show luxurious glass pieces that were used in medicine, in science, in the industry. And we show how glass affects our lives. Without glass, we wouldn't have phones, wouldn't have windows, we wouldn't have glasses, microscopes, and all science and our everyday life is actually affected from glass, from having discovered glass and its qualities.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Iskra. Thank you very much. It was a very interesting presentation, a very interesting request from you, and I'm looking forward to see you again in the house of Calliope. I'm sure I will enjoy one more time because it's a very nice place and with a lot of stories and interesting items to see there. And I hope that all the participants in that session will...
За мен ще бъде изключително голямо удоволствие да посрещна всеки от вас. Можем дори да пием кафе в аристократична обстановка, да си поговорим още. Наистина беше чест за мен да бъда сред вас. Много се извинявам, но аз днес бях жури на на фолклорен фестивал и се налага да довърша част от документацията, така че ще ви напусна с неудоволствие, но се надявам, че ще имаме отново възможности да се срещнем.
Thank you very much. It would be wonderful to invite you and have you as my guests in our museum. Also, we could drink coffee in aristocratic atmosphere. Sadly, I would have to leave the session now because I was jury at folklore festival today and I have to submit all my notes now. I left the festival a little bit earlier to be able to join you here today. It was very pleasant and thank you again for the time and the attention.
We thank you very much. It was a big pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Iskra. It was very interesting and thank you, Viliana, for this wonderful translation.
Thank you again and see you hopefully many times in the future.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye, Iskra.
Bye-bye. Okay, I think we could continue and we would discover a lot of other places, but I have a look on my clock and it's quite late. So let us continue with Rosemarie, and she will read a poem which is very well known also by music. And go on, my dear. Rosemarie?
Thank you, Anna, that you had these poems in the right surrounding. I'm very proud of myself that I managed with all this stuff to be with you.
We are happy you're here.
Ja, und der Goethe war 1770 in Straßburg und ist wie immer schon vorher auch in großer Liebe entbrannt zu einer jungen Frau. Und dieses Gedicht entstammt aus dieser raschen, schönen, großen Leidenschaft. Sah ein Knab ein Röslein stehen, Röslein auf der Heiden, war so jung und morgenschön, liefer schnell es nah zu sehen, saß mit vielen Freuden. Röslein, 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 rot, Röslein auf der Heiden. Knabe sprach, ich breche dich, Röslein auf der Heiden. Röslein sprach, ich steche dich, dass du ewig denkst an mich, und ich will's nicht leiden. Röslein, Röslein, Röslein rot, Röslein auf der Heiden. Und der wilde Knabe brach, das Röslein auf der Heiden. Röslein wehrte sich und stach, half ihr doch kein Weh und Ach, musste es eben leiden. Röslein, Röslein, Röslein rot, Röslein auf der Heiden.
Thank you, Rosemarie, for this very, very nice interpretation of this poem, which was performed also by music. And I think a lot of you heard it and knows about. Personally, I have to say that I liked it very much until a certain point.
The most interesting thing is that another poem writer said that behind this poem is kind of a bad doing of the men.
The violence, yes. That's what I would like to say. I liked it very much, but one day...
At that time, the boss of a region was allowed to use the virgins first before they got married. And you find that.
Yes, but
and you will find that. Ja, die Jungfräulichkeit durfte der Boss nehmen, ja. Und viele in Opern haben wir auch diese Methodik, also auch aus Musik herausgekommen. Aber es ist dann nicht so deutlich, dass man weiß, es ist eine Vergewaltigung.
Yes, it's a very sad story, finally, if you look behind. The text is wonderful, and also the form of poesy, because you have in the first half very short verses to make, oh, he is so in love and he's engaged and he sees this young girl and this girl is so beautiful and so on, and he would like to approach her. She's on the hills is empty, she's only this girl. And in the second strophe, so he liked to bind the girl to himself by violence. And the young girl said, "No, I don't like it. And I will be broken. And I don't like to be broken." And in the text is also, the rose must then suffer. It's really heavy. And in the third strophe is, as Rosemary said, it's the act of violence, and the rose is broken. And she has to suffer because men had the right to take what they like to take. And so this very famous poem of Goethe is not so funny and not so easy and not so fine as it was known for centuries, and perhaps also known by some people today. And I think what is behind is that if a girl is saying no, it's a no, and they had not to suffer. This is finally the consequence of this poem, of this very nice poem of Goethe. Rosemarie, you agree?
Ja.
You agree? Bist du einverstanden, dass das nicht sein sollte? Solche
Du hast es sehr gut erklärt. Danke. War
Okay.
super. Ja.
So, but thank you for this very emotional interpretation of this poem, which is, as I said, a very nice poem in German and well known and performanced by many persons without thinking what is behind. So, but the next one is now Timea, and up to Anna to close it.
Yes, Timea was very kind because she, together with Mihaela Markovic from Cluj, started the project. And please, Timea, I give the floor to you to say some words about that.
Yeah, so the project was actually existing before, and it was between Mihaela Markovic and Virgil Mureșan. He's a director, and she is like the director of the center, the house for the elderly. And together they combined generations to make theater, which I find really beautiful. They take pieces from really well-known screenwriters or less known screenwriters, and they either record it and do theater by in the radio, or they do pieces together, which they then perform. And we started working with them, with two seniors and two students, two medicine students. I am I'm the assistant director, and Virgil Mureșan is the director, the big boss. And together we take like these people that are not professional actors, or they don't usually act in their spare time, but they come together and they do beautiful things on any occasion, just to make the public, the spectators, enjoy a story that was created like many years ago, but it's still enjoyable now in the present. And that's why, yeah, that's also why I insisted not to do it in German or in English, because I find especially the song in the beginning really connected to the Romanian language. And for me, it made no sense to translate it in any way, because it goes through no matter the language you're singing in. It's the beauty not of the words or the meaning, but of the song itself. Exactly.
Perfect. So you can start.
I need a second.
Yes.
Yeah. Și-am zis, verde frunză, verde, verde, verde și iar verde. Frunzuliță, foaie, verde, 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 verde. Și iar verde, verde, frunzuliță, frunză verde. Când ești verde, ești tot verde și ești verde când ești verde. Numai verde, verde, verde și iar verde, verde, verde. Verde, 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 verde. Verde, 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 verde. Verde, 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 verde. Verde, 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 verde. Numai verde când ești verde, când e verde, unde-i verde? Unde-i verde, numai verde, și-am zis verde, frunză verde, 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 când-i verde. Când-i verde, foaie verde, care-i verde, unde-i verde? Verde-i verde, când-i verde, foaie verde, care-i verde. Iaca! Mă uit să văd o grada. Puteam, va să zică, să mă uit și peste poartă. Da? Pe dumneavoastră, cum v-aș fi văzut? Păi, să aduc și bulendrele, nu? Eu așa zic. Bună ziua, zic și bine v-am găsit. Mulțumesc că m-ați poftit. Să rămână tată, să rămână mamă. Da, Ioan unde-i? Ioan al dumneavoastră. Ioan al dumneavoastră, soțul meu. Păi eu sunt nevasta lui Ioan. Adică nora nevoastră. Și-am venit aici la casa bărbatului după ședere. Ca nevastă ce sunt. Adică... Cum adică de când nevastă? Păi, de când m-a furat. Ia așa. M-a furat de la mine de acasă. Adică, dacă-s eu în toate mințile. Păi, eu așa cred. Cel puțin moșul îmi zice că sunt deșteapta pământului.
Extraordinary. Many thanks. It was extraordinary. I can tell I laugh with my heart and I have tears in my eyes. So many thanks and congratulations. You are very talented and in Romanian it's so and expressive. The body language is perfect.
I invite you with my heart open to come when it's actually going to be performed in Cluj. I'm not really sure when that's going to be because we're still like in rehearsals, but when it is, we're going to announce it, and I am really happy if any of you manage to come.
I can guarantee that the public will be and very enthusiastic. Extraordinary. Many thanks. And Mihaela, you hear us? Mihaela Markovic?
Yes, she is in.
Yes. Many thanks also to her that she makes so good to get that wonderful thing together with Mihaela, with Timea. Timea was extraordinary. I have no words. It's above my expectation. I really have tears in my eyes.
So it's Very fine, and perhaps the first time that we have an actor, not only a singer, but also a beautiful actor in our...
I'm usually not a performer or a singer, but it was like a one-time thing I went back to.
But now we will go on to Ukraine, and it's Katarina coming from Odessa. Katarina?
Yes,
Yes, from Odessa. And since when you are in Germany?
Since March 2022.
And you're a professional singer, or what do you are doing in your life?
I'm a teacher and a translator, and singing is my hobby. And I sang in a children choir, and then perhaps student choir, also at the university. And we visited Czech Republic and Hungary and Italy, so many countries.
Oh, that's fine. And about your song you have chosen for us, what is the content?
I have chosen a folk song, the Black Thorn in Blossom. The black thorn means obstacles and suffering, and but it's about love, even unrequited love, because a girl is waiting for her beloved one, but he's not here with her, and she thinks perhaps he's seeking another love. But in our life, love is important. So.
That's right. So let us hear.
Цвіте терен, а цвіт опадає, то в любові не знається, той горя не знає, то в любові не знається, той горя не знає. А я молода дівчина, та й горя зазнала, вечороньки не доїла, нічки не доспала, вечороньки не доїла, нічки не доспала. Ой, візьму я кріселечко, сяду край віконця, і ще очі не дрімали, а вже сходить сонце, і ще очі не дрімали, а вже сходить сонце. Хоч дрімайте, не будете спати, десь поїхав мій миленький, іншої шукати, десь поїхав мій миленький, іншої шукати. Очі мої, що ви наробили, кого люди обминали, того полюбили. Цвіте терен, листя опадає, хто в любові не знається, той горя не знає.
Oh, thank you, Katarina. It's very nice to hear you. And love is always worth to be named, and it's always in the center of a lot of songs and of emotions.
And you have a lovely voice, very, very nice voice.
Thanks a lot for the audience.
Yes, and you are trained. Even if you are not an official singer, you are a wonderful singer. Thank you very much. So, but last not least, you will have a poem
Yes, and Tomislav Milunov will recite one creation of him. He is very talented and he wrote very, very, very nice poems. And tonight he will recite a poem, someone he cares about. And I tell you that he is a very good poet. I give the floor to you, Tomislav.
Thank you so much, Shana. And in some period of our grow up, we all suffer from the love. So this is something I wrote in my period that I suffer in love. So yeah. Neko ko ti znači. Karte koje vode nikuda. Krijući se od istine, onda čuješ otkucaje slomljenog srca za nekim ko ti znači. Mračan pogled, ispunjen bolom, zbog kog gubiš, sa talasima u duši za nekim ko ti znači. Dani koji su hladni, povetarac kao neustrašiva oluja, obeshrabrujuća oluja, trenutak praznine, dokaz je patnje za nekim ko ti znači. U borbi sa godinama, zatrpan mislima, sa tugom u očima, za nekim ko ti znači. Thank you so much.
We thank you, Tomislav. Very, very nice poem, and congratulations for your work.
Thank you so much.
Carmen?
Yeah, how to say, poem writer since a long time, huh?
I start in my elementary school and continue till this day. So yeah, a long time.
It's wonderful. It's not a profession, but it's your heart, and it's a very nice hobby, a very nice action in your free time.
Yeah,
As
thanks so much.
for Katarina's songs and for us as actors of so on. Thank you very much to all of you having given this evening an inside view of what you are loving and with what you are acting in your professional time as Iska or in your free time. And it was always, or it is always very interesting to see so many aspects of culture in our Come Together sessions. Thank you a lot. And if you have a proposal, so write to us, to Marina and me and Anna, and we try to insert the proposals. And if you have some proposal for a main theme or main presentation, please let us know. Anna.
Yes, I say many thanks to everyone, all the contributors was extraordinary, and I'm very happy indeed to be in this evening with all of you, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you also, not only to all actors, but also for translators.
Yes,
and
yes.
Last not least, to Marina. She was so nice to give us the help this evening because Pari was not able to come. And this is a basic work to be connected by Zoom. Thank you, Marina. So we will see us in 2 weeks. And I hope you will have a good next week. And that we will see us again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All the best, everyone.
Good night.